Well, as always, Mondays are always the most boring day starting the week. But, however, on this channel, I intend to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. So, if you guys are big fans of the Japanese wrestling scene in general, you're in luck. You guys are in the right channel. So, today we got 3 reviews for all of you. The first one is, of course, is the rebrand of Evolution, now called Pro Wrestling Evolution. This one features many matches, including with men as well. But the main event features the Sendai Girls Jr World title. Chi-Chi makes another defense, but this time against someone who had pinned her at the Catch the Wave tournament last year, and that is God's Eye's very own Urana Yagami. And then we move on with Stardom with their much recent show that took place on the 2nd of February, of course, with Supreme Fight in Korakuen Hall, featuring, of course, the double main event, the Artist Championships on the line. The Cosmic Angels make their somewhat of a defense now against Neo Genesis, so that's going to be very interesting. But the main event features the red belt. Sayakami Tani makes her first title defense against Zuzu Suzuki, so we'll see how that rolls up. And then we move on, of course, with our last review, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We continue with more to the road to the new beginning and Korakuen Hall as well for day 6 of that, of course. And it features the New Japan World Television title. El Phantasmo makes another defense, but this time, once again, with the former champion himself, Jeff Cobb. But this time, there is no countouts whatsoever. And then we cap up our episode with some news updates to keep you guys updated on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions need to be said. I believe it's time to hit the road. So, let's begin with our very first review, and this one is from Pro Wrestling Evolution. Okay, Pro Wrestling Evolution This is their latest show, Volume 30, and this took place recently last month on January 29th, 2025 at Shinjuku Face. Now, give you guys a bit of a background about this whole thing. Now, this promotion originally started as Evolution. The reason of the title came from um, for All Japan star and talent, and possibly one of the guys in the back who serves as executive for the promotion, Suwama. Suwama had, in the other hand, a faction known as Evolution. It featured him along with Dan Tamura and Hikaru Sato. So they were known as Evolution, and of course, they started this Yoshi thing with various girls. Originally, there were 7 girls that tried out. Only 3 prevailed. That is, of course, Chi Chi, Sunny, then Zones. So everything was going great, and of course, many people have give high praises to Chi Chi, who was a bit of a prospect. And of course, recently, no, was it last year or so, Sunny has suffered a injury, and it forced her to um, stop wrestling, but in the process, she decided to remain with the company as a ref. So she continues to ref with the promotion even to this day. But of course, their goals for Evolution was to expand, to recruit more girls. They recently they recruited, of course, last year Soy, then Miyuna, and recently Chica. But however, in a press conference in December of 2024, Suwama actually announced that Evolution would be rebranded by starting on that particular day on January 29th as Pro Wrestling Evolutions. So their goal is now is to have not only just the women, but also a men's as well, more of a co-ed promotion. Now there have been promotions in Japan that feature that, like of course with DDT, no, with Gambari, GTO, 2AW, and a few others, but they're not that popular like these type of promotions. But it serves them well. And of course, they started out the year with this one with volume number 30th, and of course, started out with the name. Now, of course, they did a little opening number where Suwama, along with Shuji Chikawa, who are both, of course, the the authority figures of the promotion, and also they wrestle in Evolution as well, along with the roster consistent of Chi Chi, Zones, Zoe, and of course the new girl Chica. So basically, they are the one. They I don't know. I think they are greeting the fans, telling them welcome and all that and all that sort of thing. But let's get started with the first match. Now, there was a new girl that was announced who made her debut on this particular day. Her name was Chica. She faces against Lady Destroyer Hiroyu Matsumoto. Now, of course, you would think that Chica would try to impress us. I mean, she does have a bit of the powerhouse, kind of like Matsumoto actually has, which is crazy. But however, it was Matsumoto that picked up the win with a elevated Boston Crab, and just like that, she had no choice but to tap. Our next match, we have Soy, who she teams up with Choco Pros and the current Asian Dream, um, no, the Super Asia champion Mei Shiruga, taking on Coyote Yonayama and Momoka Hanazono. Now it's interesting because both Momoka and Coyote Yona don't get along well because A, they're both high speedsters and they have their own views of what they want, how high speed should be. And of course, don't forget that Mei and Momoka used to be a tag team known as Momo Ringo, but now they're in the opposite ends. But how we think this is going to be, because both the teams are makeshift teams. That's the one question. But however, there was a moment where, of course, there was a miscue by Soy when she when May actually drop kick Soy and allowed for Yonayama to pick up the win, and just like that. But of course, during the post match, I don't know what Soy said to May, but I'm sure May is not happy, knowing that this did not go according to plan. So, yeah, that's what happened. Now, our next match, we have a men's match. We have Dan Tamura, Hikaru Sato taking on Antonio Honda and Masahiro Takanashi. But of course, Chris Brooks was in tow because he's close friends with these two guys. So you would think that this is going to be interesting because, of course, Dan Tamura and Hikaru Sato are basically the homegrown boys because they follow Suwama. They they are always by his side. And of course, we do see the bit of the comedy routine when it comes to Honda all the time. I mean, him stopping the match, giving a little speech, whatever. But however, there was a moment where Dan Tamra was realizing they're acting like this dancing funky thingy, and he started doing himself that kind of stopped it, like doing like woo like that. And they're like telling him, no, we don't want to see that. But Honda ended up on the wrong side of the Death Valley bomb by Tamara, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Shuji Ishikawa and Suwama, both guys who run the promotion, taking on each other. Now, I know what you guys thinking. Was Evolution meant to just showcase new talent? Yes, but you got to remember, these guys fought hard to make this promotion stand out. Because if you got, I forgot to fail to mention, Evolution was supposed to be the promotion, the Yoshi promotion that's supposed to be kind of like what Mighty Gold is doing with Noah, and Stardom with New Japan. But however, due to the situation with All Japan, Ishikawa felt disheartened. But it's great that they're stepping up the game to give a bit of the recognition that Evolution needs. And of course, they had to face off each other. But I wasn't too expecting anything big. But this match ended with, of course, a time limit draw after 15 minutes. But I don't know what happened. But in the promo, Suwama was talking. I don't know what was going on. But however, he had a visit from Takuya Nomura. So basically, Takuya Nomura said something. I'm not sure if there's a match taking place. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our next match, we have Magenta, Maria and Riko Kawahara from Marvelous, taking on the Muscle Sisters, Zones and Chanyota. So it's interesting to see Chanyota now outside of PP Tokyo. She rarely steps out, but yeah. But you ask yourselves that will the Muscle Sisters be able to prevail? Well, the thing is, these ladies hardly team up that much. But when it comes to Maria and Riko Kawahara, they have a very cohesion team. So you would think that's gonna play out. But however, as you know, Maria has grown up significantly. She was able to pick up the win when she applied a submission on Zones, and she officially tapped. And just like that, it was over. Now, our main event is the Sendai Girls Jr World Championship. Chi Chi makes another title defense. I think this should be her third one, I believe, or fourth, one of the two. Anyway, she challenged against Rana Yagami from Stardom's very own God's Eye. Now, some of you may question why did Rana Yagami issue this challenge. Now, ever since Chi Chi won this belt, this is not the first time that those two have met. They have met when Wave, with Pro Wrestling Wave, did the annual tournament last year called no, it was last year or 2 years ago, one of the two. Where of course, I think it was last year when they had the Catch the Wave tournament, which whoever wins, they get a shot of the Regina the Wave title, which currently is now Sayakami Tani's belt. Rani Agami defeated Chi Chi, but in a way, it's kind of like saying, on a technicality, I'm the one who defeated you, so I do get a shot of that belt. So that's what happened. Now, Rani Agami, I'm not going to say that she is the right person who should be winning that belt. I mean, I think many people would love to see Aya Sakura because has grown up significantly, but Chi Chi has also grown as well. But it was Chi Chi with the Uranagi that allowed her to retain the belt, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So she retained the belt, and we ask ourselves who will be the next challenger. Well, that's going to be for another time, so we'll see what happens down the road. But for now, we are done with this, and let's move on with our next review, Stardom. Okay, Stardom. Surpreme Fight 2025 in Korakuen Hall. This is their recent show that took place on February 2nd. Now, it opened up with Hate, consistent of Azusa Inaba, Rina, Tekla, and Momo Watanabe taking on EXV's Hanako, Waka Tsukiyama, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika. So you would think this is going to be a very interesting match because, of course, Hate are trying to make a statement about how much they hate certain people, about the way they look, the way things are being portrayed, that sort of thing. But much of the match, we do see, of course, Hate targeting Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa has been targeted, and they tried to eliminate her in every way possible. But however, Mina was not the one who ended up being taking the fall, and that is, of course, Maika, who ended up taking the fall when Tekla, who applied a her finisher, I forgot what she calls it, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. But however, in the post match, Hate were not done. They decided to brutalize more on Mina Shirakawa to show them how much they hate her. But yeah, that's what recently took place. So we'll see what happens down the road. Now, our next match, we have Godzai, Lady C, and Hina taking on Rian and Mei Seda, our current high speed champion. Now, some of you may ask yourselves that this match will definitely fall into God's Eye because A, you look at Rian and Meisira, they're in fact from two different um, units. Rian with God's Eye, no, Rian with EXV, and Meisira with Neo Genesis. So that kind of played out. But however, it was Hina who picked up the win when she pinned Rian, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, our next match is a very fun one. Rana Yagami versus Koguma. Now, this thing between them goes way back for a couple of months. Those who know Koguma, she's the type of person who intends to get her opponents to do the Kuma pose. Now, God's Eye has been one of those teams that are like, nope, nope, I'm not playing that game. And of course, Koguma has been targeting Rana Yagami to do it. But Suri, her leader, tells her, nope, no, don't do it. So Rana Yagami had it, so she decided to put up a stipulation. If she loses to Koguma, well, she'll do the Kuma pose. However, if Rana Yagami loses, Koguma will have to do the Kuma pose and have the members of God's Eye to do it. I mean, it's kind of interesting. But however, you ask yourself, Koguma, who's a bit of a, has been known as the high-speed genius, but I like to call her the child who likes to play games, will most likely will figure something out. And that's exactly what she tried to do. But however, she tried to incite with the Kuma pose on Rina the entirety of the match. But however, Rana did not made it through because she ended up on the wrong side of the diving body press, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Yagami lost, and she had to do the post. But however, because Shuri was her second, Koguma was telling Shuri that she will have to do the Kuma pose soon enough, and that's the last thing Shuri needs. So Shuri's like, no, no, and she runs like she did not want to hear it. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but that's gonna be interesting. Now, our next match, we have the other members of Hate, consistent of Fukigen Death, Raka, and Natsuko Tora, taking on Cosmic Angels Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori. Now, of course, as you all know, these three ladies have been, in fact, became a much stable trios team that should be. I mean, they did put themselves to the test against their seniors, and that's exactly what they want to do. But however, when it comes to Hate, you know they have treacherous way to cheat their way through. But unfortunately, it was Yuna Mizumori who ended up on the wrong side of the O'Connor role by Fukigen Death. So I'm sure that this is going to be a lesson learned for these three ladies, but we'll see where that goes. Now, our next match, we have God's Eye members Kyoka Kotatsu, Tomoka Inaba, um, Saki Kashima, and Shuri taking on Momo Kogo, Hanan Azuki, and Mayu Iwatani. Now, nothing too special on this match in any way possible. So you would think there's going to be some interesting moments on this one. But however, it was, of course, um, Shuri who picked up the win by applying a submission move on Momo. And of course, Momo had no choice but to tag. However, while um, God's Eye was celebrating, Hate showed up. But all of a sudden, we had the return of Konami, who had unfinished business with Sudi to try to bury her away. However, of course, Kyoka was not happy with the results of how this whole thing with Konami, who she faced earlier, now she is defending Shuri. So we're going to see what's going to happen down the road. Now, our next match, this is the semi-main event. The artist belts are defended. Cosmic Angels core members Sayori Anu, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano defends it against Neo Genesis Miyu Hamasaki, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. Now, of course, this was a decision that was made with Neo Genesis winning the Unit League tournament, and this brought upon them to challenge for these belts. And of course, Tam Nakano has been in an intense pressure ever since losing the red belt, and she was not going to allow this to lose the Art of Belts one way or the other. But this match ended with Azumi, of course, applying the Azumi Sushi onto Sayori Anu and becoming the new Artist Champion. So that means Amasaki and Starlight Kid are currently double champions, and they get to walk away with two belts. Now for our main event, we have the World of Stardom Championship, the red belt. Kamitani makes her first title defense against Zuzu. Now, Zuzu is a different type of wrestler that Kamitani has never faced, even though Zuzu is more dangerous, but Kamitani doesn't think she is. But I mean, they took this match in every way possible, even outside the ring. But unfortunately, it was Kamitani who, in fact, applied the Star Crusher, and of course, she gave a bit of respect to Zuzu, seeing that she is crazy. She didn't think she's crazy enough, but of course, Zuzu is crazy. No one can deny that. So I'm sure she will love to have another opportunity with her. But however, Tam Nakano makes her presence known, who will not allow this thing with Kamitani to go even further. So she was demanding that she'll give that she'll have another shot at her. However, Kamitani decided, who was not done with Tam, decided, I'll give you a shot. But however, she grabbed Kurara, saying, you two will team up, but if you beat me, I'll give you a title shot. So basically, Kurara was not too keen on this, but she knows how much the red belt it's meant so much to Tam. But Tam is worried, thinking that if she loses, Kurara will have to be forced to join Hate, and that's the last thing she needs. But now, recently, people are questioning that could this be the moment where Kurara will betray Tam? I mean, there's people who have mixed feelings. There are those that don't want her to leave. Others say that she should leave. But we'll see what happens on down the road with this. So this will happen on the 24th of February, from my understanding. So I think that's pretty much it what we have with Stardom. Let's do our final review. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We continue with more to the road to the new beginning. This is day 6, and of course, returning back to Korakuen Hall. Our first match, we have the young lion Daiki Nagai taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, of course, many of you would think in some capacity this would be a perfect opportunity for Nagai to, of course, learn something from this by taking on the Ace. Now, of course, there was a bit of a moment you could have thought he could have beaten him due to the fact that we know that Tanahashi's body is deteriorating, that which of course is a sign. But however, like any other match, the ace prevails when he applied the Texas Cloverleaf, and just like that, the guy had no choice but to tap out. Now, our next match, we have 6 or 9. Master Wado and Ryusuke Taguchi teaming up once again. They team up with Shota Umino to take on the United Empire's Jacob Austin Young, Francisco Kira, and Great Khan. Now remember, Great Khan and Shota Umino are currently in a feud. Great Khan is questioning that Shota Umino is not the right person to be the ace of New Japan. So he's been pestering him, tried to destroy merchandise to prove his point. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. But however, the focus later turned into, of course, Master Wato applying his submission move onto Jacob Austin Young, and just like that, he had no choice but to tap. But however, in the post match, like the old saying goes, a loser cannot stand a winner. So basically, Khan intending to cut a piece of Shota Umino, but luckily his teammates were able to stop him. But once again, Khan, being the big baby that he is, decided to destroy merchandise that belonged to Shota Umino. But Umino is not going to take that kindly. I'm sure he's going to put him in his place. But Khan thinks that he is not the right guy for the job. I mean, Khan can talk the talk, but he can also walk the walk. But the problem is, can he back up everything he says? Now, our next match, we have a great bash heel consisting of Hamna, Tomiaki Hamna, and Togi Makabe taking on the winners of World Tag League, members of LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi, and Tetsuya Naito. Now, nothing too significant on this one because, of course, we know that LIJ, their primary goal is to win the IWGP Tag Team titles that are currently in the hands of the Young Bucks. So that's been the clear cut. But however, this match ended with Hiromu applying the time bomb on Hamna, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, we're done. Our next match, we have the Bullet Club War Puppies, Clark Connors and Sanada taking on just 4 guys, Taka Michinoku and Taichi. Now, of course, this is another messed up situation. Sanada faked a low blow, made it look like that Taichi kicked Sanada in the gonads, but it wasn't true. The ref saw it, and then he called it a DQ. Fans were not happy with the result that this was a faithful. But Taichi, I don't blame him. The referee was stupid and did not see the whole truth. Everybody was trying to tell him he did not kick him. But, of course, like the old saying goes, the referee made the final call. But I hope the referee learned his lessons. Try to think before you make the final decision. But that's pretty much what happened. Now, our next match, we have the other members of the War Dogs, or should I say the War Puppies. Taiji Shimori, Drilla Maloney, and Gabe Kidd taking on LIJ's Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. Now, of course, Drilla Maloney decided to pick a fight with Shingo, trying to prove that he is stronger than him. And don't forget, Gabe Kidd, who feels that Yota Tsuji is a mistake. He should not have been the IWGP Global Champion. He feels like you may have been above me, Yota Tsuji, but the truth is, you're a pig. You were just the guy lacing Tanahashi's boots. Well, I'm the one being the real star. Well, he feels that Yota Tsuji should not have been above him, but he is above him. So that storyline continues, but it did not focus on that. But it was Ishimori who picked up the win when he applied a ghetto clutch onto Bushi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But of course, the feud between Kid and Tsuji continues, and then Maloney and Shingo as well. So we'll see where that leads us there. Our next match, we have El Desperado. He teams up with the members of Chaos, consisting of Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto, taking on TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, Kosa Fujita, Rohei Oiwa, and the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. So you can tell that this is one of those matches where there's a lot of things happening. As you know, Kosa Fujita is challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title against Despy, but of course Rohei Oiwa decided to pick a fight with Yoshihashi, and Goto has an opportunity for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So there's a lot of things going on in that. But what's impressive in this match was the Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii. Oh my God, you wouldn't see the battle of the Hots on this one if you don't know what I'm talking about now. You know Ishii, his size, he's a small dude, but don't let the size fool you. This guy is tough as nails. He's tough SOB. Don't let the size fool you. He's a bit more shorter than, of course, Hartley Jackson. But what surprised me, he pulled off the unthinkable. He applied a brain buster onto Jackson, and just like that, it was over. 1, 2, 3. I did not expect that. I mean, I would pay good money to see those two have a one-on-one match. So New Japan, make it happen. Now on for our main event. We have the New Japan World Television title defended in a no counts match. No count out match, of course. Now, as you all know, Jeff Cobb was the second person to win this title before El Fantasma won it. Now, Jeff Cobb, who felt that he should have got the title, the rematch he deserved because Randy Rita, being a coward, decided not to give Jeff Cobb another opportunity. He was running, but however, El Fantasma stripped them of that title by pinning him, and now Jeff Cobb wants that belt back. But the real question you ask yourselves, can he handle it? He knows that Jeff Cobb, he is not a guy you ought to underestimate. Um, but however, El Fantasmo did everything humanly as possible to find a way to bring the big man down, and that's exactly what he did when he applied a Thunder Kiss 86, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. He retained the belt, and of course he went on the promo thanking everybody. He thanked Tanahashi for everything. He thanked the refs. He thanks the ring crew, everybody, and he said he can't wait to be in Osaka to say hi to everyone. So I guess no one has issued any challenge against him, but sooner or later, someone will. But I think that's pretty much it what we have for all our reviews. I believe it's time to end it here and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is going to be a very short one for all of you. Let's begin with the upcoming events. We have one with Prestige Wrestling with two updates on their upcoming events in April. Now, as you know, they will be doing the Roseland 11 taking place on the 12th of April in Oregon. They just announced the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, will take on Sinner and Saints, consistent of Judas Ikra and Travis Williams. And then, of course, Prestige will be involved in the Las Vegas show, Nothing to Lose, on the 17th of April. They just announced Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. will be making his return to Prestige Wrestling, so he will be there as well. Now, for our developments, you may have heard the news that Charlotte Flair and Andrade has filed for divorce. So basically, they're calling their marriage off. So basically, now I don't know the full extent, but I can only guess that maybe they drift apart or things were not going exactly their ways because of scheduling conflicts. Who knows? But I guess many people could say maybe it was bound to happen sooner or later, but I don't know. I can't speak on their behalf. I cannot speak on what exactly was the cause of it. But all we know is that their marriage after 6 years is over. Now, for our last development, this one is a bit of a surprise. FIFO Select reports that Duke Hudson has been released from WWE this past month. So, very surprising. I mean, first we saw, of course, certain wrestlers were released, but this is a very interesting thing. I know because the storyline we did see that Chase U was over, it was dismantled when Andre Chase lost to Ridge Holland. We haven't heard anything from, of course, what's his name, Riley Osborne, or the hell what they're gonna do now. I'm not sure if they're repackaging them. That is the thing we still don't know. We haven't seen them since then. But Duke Hudson, hopefully we see him somewhere down the road. I don't know where he's gonna go. I think I know some of you may say, could he go to AEW? I mean, he probably could, but right now we'll see what the future lies for him. So right now we'll just end things here, and let's just call it a day. Alrighty then. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode. So as you know, for our upcoming one, we do have NXT happening, and of course, in another more of New Japan with the Road to the New Beginning. So we'll see how things will progress on that. If there's any other reviews I'm planning to do, we'll see what happens. I'm behind on All Japan, Noah, and Dragon Gate, and a few others. So we'll see how things will go from there. But the priority is New Japan, and of course, um, NXT. So that's pretty much what we have for now. So I'll end things here, and I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!